back to Morning Brief Market Sunrise. Here's a look at what's moving markets this morning. Well, oil prices are rising on the heels of the OPEC Plus meeting on Sunday. The group raising production levels, but not as high as some analysts feared. It will produce 137,000 barrels a day in November, which is the same level as October. The cartel has been losing out to producers in the Americas, namely the US, Brazil and Guyana. This coming after a rough week for the oil market. Brent crude was down more than 8% and WTI was down more than 7%. And in Asia overnight, a read on the AI industry has Honda reported earnings. The company, also known as Foxconn and a key partner to NVIDIA, posted immense sales growth, which was roughly in line with analyst expectations. It expects sales to rise in the current quarter thanks to healthy AI demand. Now, Foxconn is a major server production partner for NVIDIA, and it's also a key partner for Apple. And the ramp up for the iPhone 17 launch helped support the consumer segment. The broader AI trade will be in focus as OpenAI hosts its Dev Day, and it comes as OpenAI announced a massive partnership with chipmaker AMD ahead of the event. Speculation online suggesting the company will unveil an agent builder announcements today, and it comes after a blog post from the company last week detailing it has developed AI-based tools for internal use for tasks like streamlining and making contract documents searchable. That news weighed on several software stocks last week. It highlights how the largest private company is having an outsized effect on the public market. OpenAI's Dev Day event kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern Time in San Francisco. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos making headlines after his comments about a bubble in the AI trade. Well, Yahoo Finance tech editor Dan Howley broke it down with Josh Lipton on market domination.
Talking about the AI bubble and the discussion of the kind of frothiness and hype around the AI trade. And really, he kind of tried to hammer home a few points. One, he said that, yeah, there is an AI bubble at this point. He had specifically talked about a company that had 6 people but managed to raise billions of dollars at a $20 billion valuation. He didn't say exactly what that company was in particular, but did say that that's an issue. And something that is seen in times like this where you see good companies and bad companies, good ideas and bad ideas get funding at times like this. But he also said that AI is a real kind of capability and something that will continue to grow and show real productivity gains in the future. So it's not as though this kind of a vaporware scenario where, you know, people are investing and waiting and well, it just didn't show up. He believes that this is something that's going to boost companies and change business around the world. It's just a matter of which companies end up doing that and which don't. And he pointed out, you know, likes of OpenAI and Anthropic. And this has been, you know, kind of an ongoing discussion we've seen at the same conference. Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon had said that, yeah, you know, there seems to be an AI bubble at this point, but, you know, pointed out that just as Amazon in particular gutted it out during the kind of pop that happened in the internet bubble, there will be companies that will gut it out as well with the AI bubble. And so it's just a matter of, you know, how many people do believe that this is a bubble, and if it isn't a bubble, when does that pop?
Okay, let's have a check-in on the markets. And as we mentioned, gold hit an all-time high. And Bitcoin, well, it's near its recent peak too. Now, oil as well is advanced after OPEC Plus yesterday revived just 137,000 barrels a day of halted supply, a slower pace than earlier this year. Let's move on to Asian boards now. And as we said earlier, Japan's Nikkei surging on that news that a new prime minister is likely to encourage more fiscal spending, and she looks set to take office later this month, remember? And that sent the Nikkei soaring, as you can see, just shy of 5%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell around 0.7%. That's ahead of a holiday tomorrow. Most major share markets around the region were closed for holidays, including mainland China, South Korea and Taiwan. All right, let's move on to Europe now. And European stocks, well, they opened on the foot in early trade. But as you can see, the FTSE now back in the green in London. But the CAC is down quite heavily, as you would expect. and bigger declines than most in the region. Remember, last week, a number of these European indices hit record highs, so we'll have to see if that can continue. Okay, let's move on to see how Wall Street might open when the US opens later. And US equity futures are on the rise, as you can see there. Investors seemingly more confident that the Fed will continue to cut interest rates, and that seems to be the focus. Okay, well, that is it for Market Sunrise for this morning. Stay with Yahoo Finance for continuing live coverage of the markets and your money all day on streaming and online. Coming up next, join Julie Hyman ahead of the market open on Morning Brief. I'm Ramzan Karmali. Own the morning.
Stay tuned for a special free offer from Flash Force Tactical Flashlight. With its powerful telescopic zoom, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight gives you a super bright light visible at a distance of over 2,000 meters with 7 useful modes plus a USB rechargeable battery. The Flash Force Tactical Flashlight is always ready to light up the night. And if you scan the code on your screen and order right now, we'll send you a second Flash Force Tactical Flashlight absolutely free. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Scan the code on your screen to order now.
Not a very good feeling, is it? I'm Blake Anderson, and if you've ever dropped your phone, wallet, or fries between the seats, you already know why I use the console catcher. This thing is simple, but kind of brilliant. It's a flexible insert that slides between your seat and the center console and stops everything from falling into that annoying seat gap. You know that gap. The one where your phone slides in, disappears, you find yourself halfway under the seat trying to grab it while you're still driving. But no more. You just drop the console catcher in, no tools, no adhesive. It fits snug in just about any car. And when it's installed, that gap is gone. I've got the black one because it matches my seats, but there are plenty of colors to match your car as well. No more fishing for fries, earbuds, you name it. I've had mine for months now. It blends in, doesn't budge, and I've honestly forgotten how much I used to drop things down there. It's one of those fixes that you don't really even think about until you finally stop losing stuff down there every time you drive. If you don't have one yet, scan the code on your screen now and get a console catcher today. And stop feeding the seat gap monster.
Welcome to a new episode of the Opening Bid Unfiltered podcast. I'm Yahoo Finance Executive Editor Brian Sozzi here at the NASDAQ in Times Square. And like I always say, this is a podcast that will make you a smarter investor, period. Now, you may be wondering why I have my sleeves rolled up. I'm wearing a tie. Usually I come up here on Opening Bid Unfiltered with a tight-fitting sweater, a button-down shirt, casual conversations. But really, I'm paying homage and tribute to my next guest, who in many respects launched my career. And as I've told you guys many times before, I was a stock analyst for about 11 years. I got an email maybe in 2015 from someone you know very well because you've been following him for decades, Jim Cramer, maybe 2015, said he'd like something I think I wrote on Starbucks or Sears. And that essentially lended way to a column on his business news publication, 2 columns, 3 columns, videos. And then I got to work so closely with him, sit next literally 5 yards from him in the office on 14 Wall Street. And after all those years, I think we worked together 7.5 years. We never did a video together.
You went unfiltered?
This is first.
You went unfiltered. You know, I'm like fighting
Jim Cramer's
tears.
here.
I am fighting tears because I never thanked you. You were our savior. You were an amazing editor. You encouraged everyone. You knew who was good and who was bad. I remember I was going to hire someone, and you said, absolutely not. What a great call. You remember that.
I do remember.
I have loved and respect it.
I'm gonna fight back tears.
I gotta
I'm
get a
stoic
grip
too.
on this thing.
We're stoic too.
I gotta get a grip on this thing because you know that we, in the end, were a great organization. And that was because of you. I mean, you were, I don't know how you could ever do as much work. You outworked me, which is saying something. And I thank you for having me because you are a beacon for great journalism in an area where I always worry that we're going to run out.
When I was first starting out, I would watch your show. I would read Barron's, and there were words that I didn't know. I would write down on a piece of paper words I know, and everything you were talking about, Jim. And I will give you credit. We're going to talk more about Jim's book, stocks. You were the first one to mention a company called NVIDIA. And I'll say publicly, it was 2015. Jim would walk in with his brown bag into our office talking about a company, NVIDIA. He named his dog NVIDIA. I didn't know.
I missed that dog.
I didn't even know who NVIDIA was. Didn't even know who Jensen Huang was. Like, what did you see with
Okay,
NVIDIA?
so I told Jensen that I would name my. Well, I didn't say. I said I've got a way to be able to make it so people believe. And then that next, I came in and just said list 17. I said, here's what 2017. I said, guys, I renamed my dog NVIDIA. He'll answer to it if I have a piece of steak, but I couldn't get people to focus on it. And by the way, no one wanted to believe because it was too crazy. I mean, I got into his office, and the first thing he did was he had me speak to a computer. And he said, Chuck, and I said, what do I say to it? He goes, just tell it something. Just ask it something. So I said, you mean like art? He says, ask it anything. So I said, okay, I love Cézanne. I need to have a seascape by Cézanne. I was trying to trick it because Cézanne did still lifes. It came up with a beautiful seascape, and I said, that's inconceivable. It's inconceivable. He said, ask it something else. I said, okay, I want to be at the Globe Theater. I want to see King Henry V. Done. I mean, there wasn't anything that I asked it, and I was so limited. I said, could you have it be at the drive-through at Wendy's? Because my wife loved